Welcome to round number 3. We are here with a Blood Moon hand. Not a lot to do with these Snapcasters, but I'm going to keep these hands blind. I mean, Serum Vision's on 1 with a reasonable amount of lands, and a Blood Moon that we can support with the mana base that we've found. We're happy to keep that. Polluted Delta, Breeding Pool. Vial. Interesting. Blue-green fish, I guess. Fetch land here. This is where we start with the weird balance, right? Do I want to support the Cryptic command, or do I want to support the Kiki-Jiki? Probably the Cryptic command. Blood Moon's not going to be great here, but it's going to be reasonable against the green version of fish. Pestermite and Click. And I probably need to be comboing or just finding a boatload of removal. I guess I could be digging aggressively for Bolt since I have multiple snaps and not keep that Pestermite. That seems reasonable there, but yeah, Blood Moon looking relatively okay here. Obviously our opponent still has a Vial, but it can slow them down quite a bit, as well as sort of kill this Mutavault. It's probably like a Silvergill Adept or the Branch Walker. I don't know how I feel about a matchup like this. This doesn't sound like a great one. Silvergill Adept, Reveal Master. Hopefully they don't have a 1 to Vial in. Losing the die roll here is also kind of rough, since they get another opportunity to use that mana. We're going to draw the Pestermite and cast Serum Visions. Need to find some removal. Another Pestermite. Electrolyze is removal, but honestly I think it's going to be too slow and inefficient. So I'm going to bottom it, which is pretty greedy, but I don't think it's going to be the difference here. They do have the 1-drop. So we are going to be in some trouble here. Since we know our opponent has Lord, blocking is obviously not going to be a venture we are able to accomplish. And our opponent does produce the basic, so we're not even truly locking them out. Obviously, locking them off of double blue is still relevant. Locking them off of green is relevant. Turning off the Mutavault is relevant. I'm still interested in this Blood Moon, but I think on the draw here, with us not having any removal otherwise, is just going to be far too slow, unfortunately. We're going to take a minimum of 6, possibly 9 this turn. And then if we play Blood Moon, we'll just be dead on board. So opponent plays an additional Lord instead, so we're still going to be dead on board this turn, taking a 8 going down to 11, with our opponent having 14 in play. Oh, they choose not to Vial that Lord in. Certainly glad I didn't keep the Electrolyze, but vialing this in is still lethal this turn, right? It's 8. As I said, 11, 14, yeah. So cannot afford to Blood Moon here. An opponent is going to, as such, have this as an attacker as well. So we'll have to do Pestermite tap block, which I think is not correct. I think I'm just not in a million years winning that game, and I'm just telling my opponent which version of Blue-Red Dirtles I am. So I think we're going to concede here. I don't think there's a good reason to play the rest of this one out. So I do want all my removal here, even if these are a little clunky. Definitely want my explosives. I could see Keranos, considering how aggressive I want to be by just killing everything all the time. I can see P and K. It's pretty slow at doing that job, but I guess even faster than Keranos. If I did bring all of these things in. Would I really have enough to cut? Opts are very bad here, at least in some number. I can only afford to have so many cantrips against a matchup this aggressive. Remand is quite bad as well. Even on the play, I'm not very excited about it. Cryptic could be reasonable here. I think I want to shave on Blood Moon. It's still not terrible on the play. I might shave even more on the draw. It's just not, it turns off some of my opponent's stuff. It's worth having access to, but it's not like the end all be all, especially against a Vile deck. But it can be good, right? There are some games where it can be good. So I'm not like going to cut it all together. I just want to shave. It's not something I want to see too terribly often, and seeing duplicates is definitely not something that I want. So I might try it like this. I'm definitely not interested in cutting the combo. It's possible I'm supposed to have dispels. My opponent will definitely be bringing in some kind of counter magic. I think just being threat dense and removal dense is probably better, though, since I don't really want to be offensive here. I want to stop my opponent from killing me as long as possible. Yeah, this hand's great. We have early removal. We have a cantrip to find its land, a way to take over the game late, and one of our better cards in the matchup in Engineered Explosives. So we're pretty happy to keep this one. I will lead on Serum Visions. It's kind of awkward with this Scalding Tarn, but we will see how that plays out a little bit. Scry this, Deceiver Extract to the bottom, and Lightning Bolt definitely to the top. All right, Botanical Sanctum into Aether Vial, so this is definitely another game where Moon will not be terribly exciting. Shoot. Let's see here. Don't know how I want to sequence these. I don't think I just want to slam this on 2, but it might be reasonable. Yeah, I think that's probably the best use of my mana this turn, and this is an opportunity where my opponent can't cast it. Not really interested in blowing up the vial. I want to deal with the actual threats. Obviously, telling my opponent about this is pretty awkward, right? Instead of like a situation where I wait for them to extend into it, but I think we can balance it pretty well, especially with the removal that we have. It'll also cause our opponent to play in a sort of strange way, which is beneficial to us as well. Silvergill Adept, Revealing Lord. So now we can sort of just let the Silvergill Adept be in play for a while. Our opponent won't want to commit many additional 2s, but it'll be kind of a weird spot where they sort of need to get anything done, right? They can't just keep chip-shotting me with a Silvergill Adept until I die. And causing our opponent to come out slow will be very good with this Keranos, right? With our opponent not having very many things in play early, we'll be able to abuse the Keranos trigger a lot better. They do cast a 3 here. And I think I'm just going to bolt it and get a Steam Vents tapped here. Rather than like Pestermite tap this, we'll save the Pestermite tap for another day. So we just take the 2, definitely not trading the explosives for the Silvergill Adept. So probably use Pestermite to tap this turn. All right, I guess not. Just take it. I suppose making it look like I'm interested in comboing is probably worth something here. I want my opponent to not interact. Actually, I probably should have played this a little differently. I think I should have fetched for Island. Now I'm going to untap this instead of tap this. I think I should have fetched for Island and Burst Lightning this. I was thinking I didn't want to because I could just grow it with Lord of Atlantis, but then I'm just blowing the vial sooner, and that's sort of profitable for me. Again, setting up better for this Keranos. I guess Mutavault I can't deal with, though. It's a weird spot, actually. I should have considered that a little bit more. I want to keep the board somewhat clear to have this Keranos be of any benefit. Yeah, I guess we're just going to do this. Assuming the opponent will use their vial here. But if they don't, that's pretty good for us. I could also just Burst Lightning this, but then they won't be afraid to vial in a 2-drop. Dispel instead. Okay. Yeah, I think I could have played that turn quite a bit better, but... So if I slam Keranos, I'm just, like, very dead, right? 3, 6, 9, 11. Yeah, if they could just easily have another Lord as well. So I probably should have, like, tapped Vial. Yeah, so that was the play, right? It was like, Pestermite, tap Vial, Burst Lightning, they Dispel, and then I get to slam Keranos. But I changed my, like, I didn't fetch first and then, like, changed what I wanted to do mid-play and was in a worse spot. So, yeah, I think it was fetch basic Island, Pestermite, tap your Vial. They either activate it or don't activate it. I can respond with Burst Lightning. They Dispel the Burst Lightning. And if they didn't activate, then slamming Keranos would look pretty tasty this turn. So, I think that was probably the best place to be there. I don't think my opponent's going to have interaction for this Kiki-Jiki. And the Electrolyze is hard to pass up on as well. I'm going to not attack. I want to disincentivize my opponent's attacks. Although they will probably attack without fear into this, I would think. But the 2 damage likely doesn't matter here. Even if I don't plan on blocking, I like to make it seem like I plan on blocking, and maybe that'll affect how my opponent elects to play this turn as well. They could also have the tapped, bounce a tapped guy, but I guess that wouldn't matter. So they do finally play another 2-drop into it. And animate this. So I'm going to pop this, and I assume they vial on this Lord, and then we get to kill them with the Kiki-Jiki. No. Maybe they're waiting to see if I block first. No, they don't vial it in. Okay, so we could still lose to Harbinger here. Don't think I'm playing around it, though. Yeah, I don't see playing around it here being reasonable. Don't really have another option because they just kill me. Yeah, they have Harbinger. That's unfortunate. what can I do here? I guess the best thing I can fake is untap this and attack with this. Maybe they just don't have a lord. So if they had a lord, it makes sense to have Viled it in already, right? It doesn't make sense to give me the opportunity to block. If they had a Regery, they would have cast it already. They can't Violent a Regery. So I don't see why I would block here. Plus I needed to try and win the game. So if they have another Harbinger, I mean, again, it's not like we can play around it. Even with Electrolyze, I'd have to like Electrolyze into Bolt and be expected to block again, which is pretty unreasonable. So yeah. All right, looks like we got it. Maybe. Unless opponent's playing with their food, which is possible. You never know. Or if I misclick, which looks like that's what my opponent's hoping for right now. Probably make a couple extra just in case. Gotta move this box now that the Kiki-Jiki has shifted. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16. All right, let's make a couple more. All right, one more. No particular reason. And I guess we will not attack with our Kiki-Jiki. How brutal would it be if they just like Vapor Snagged? Just Vapor Snag there. That would feel real bad. All right, we will go to sideboarding for game number 3. I might shave another Blood Moon now here on the draw. It feels like it's just getting worse there. I don't really like the Dispels, even though my opponents brought theirs in still. I guess there's just nothing in my board I'm interested in. I just bring an Opt over that. Just think the Blood Moon on average is going to be far too slow. Maybe I'd still rather have it than the third Opt, but I don't think so. Yeah, let's try it like this. That was quite a close game with us on the play. This is gonna be a tough one. But I guess we also just haven't bolted anything this match yet, right? Wow, this is tough. Obviously Anger is one of our better cards, but with no early support it probably won't do much. I think I just have to mulligan. That hand's really land heavy. This hand is terrible. There's no way this hand gets there. Yep. Pretty atrocious. Is it better than the average 4? Probably not. Yeah, that's a pretty great 4, I suppose. I can't decide if I want this Opt to trade with this Curse Catcher or not. I feel like I do, but I'll probably just take the opportunity to get the Tap land into play instead. I guess next turn I can make it seem like I'm going to miss a land drop, cast Opt, and have the Curse Catcher die, but turning this into a way to kill Curse Catcher is probably like the best thing I can do with it anyway, so yeah, that's pretty good. Lord of Atlantis on top, have a 3/2. So yeah, let's get this countered. Oh. Huh. I'm surprised. I thought if I didn't play land first, they would be enthused to counter it there. Still no lightning bolts, unfortunately. But with the snap, if we draw one, we could potentially have something to do here. I assume we cast this Lord and get in for for 6. Yep. Yeah, so this Blood Moon is just going to be far too late, right? Which is why we shaved down to 1 with no early support. Now, if we had early support, right, if we had like Bolt Snap bolted into the Blood Moon or something, I guess then the Blood Moon's not coming down till turn 4. But the idea being, of course, that we would have controlled the board a little better up until that point. Unfortunately, our Moldifor is not really cutting it in that regard. I guess I'm tapping a Branch Walker. All right. Yeah, I mean, I should probably fetch first, but let's bottom these. But I'm hoping to not have to. I guess it wouldn't matter either way. I would really need to, but I'm hoping to be able to block this Lord, so I guess I won't attack since the attack doesn't really matter, and then I can have Exarch to flash in. I'm confused about why we did not get attacked with some Curse Catchers last turn, but I'll take it. Silvergill Adept, yeah. The best Merfolk. My favorite bug also. Their Silvergill Adept revealed card going into my revealed zone instead of theirs. I apparently have revealed a Harbinger of the Tides, not sure how. Alright, let's fetch a mountain. Tap this. Assumedly get hit for 4. Could draw explosives, I guess. That'd be amazing. Oh, the feel bads. So we're just dead to Island Walkers here. All right, let's opt. Statcaster, not gonna cut it here. All right, time to hope for the no attacks. The no attacks into draw land. Doesn't seem to be a high percentage line, but it's the one that we've got. All right, it's happening. All right, well. Tough, I think a tough matchup and a tough Moldifor, but hopefully the last Moldifor will have this league. I will see you in the next round.